Hi.
Hello, everyone. Day 2. Woohoo.
We've been matching all week.
I know.
We must have like a sixth sense or something.
Or we just like to wear black.
Well, I do like to wear a lot of black. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all in the comments. Hello. We're super excited to be here today for day 2 of our mystery quilt experience for the week. This is launch week.
It is.
Where we've opened up pre-ordering. We've shared with you what the mystery quilt, what it is. What is a mystery quilt? But we're going to do a lot of recaps today.
Good.
Exciting news.
Very exciting.
And we're going to talk trimming and
pinning and sewing a seam.
Yeah.
And where you sew and all that good stuff.
Yep. So that's basically what we're doing today for day 2. I can't believe it's already mid-May. Can you guys? I don't know. We have a fan going in here today because it's May. It's humid.
Yeah, and your hair was blowing, and then I noticed some of these were starting to blow in the breeze. I'm like, no.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've never done a mystery quilt with us before, you probably wonder what this bingo card is behind us. It's not actually a bingo card. We don't have the word bingo at the top. Whoa. But basically, all these numbers are associated with the week that they will be revealed. So as you can see here, week 1, we're going to reveal the border. And we're also going to review connection. There we go.
Little lag
there. And also week 1, we're going to reveal the corner block and the one kitty corner from it. So those are the blocks. You're going to make 4 of these blocks. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to stand here so it doesn't do that anymore. Wouldn't that be a disaster?
Right.
That would be a disaster.
We're going to turn our fan down so that doesn't happen. I know.
Okay. We'll just turn the fan down. It's fine. So yeah, that is going to be fun. Also, just to give you like a size reference, this is the 8-inch block size. So, you can't even see the whole thing.
Oh, don't go too
I know.
far.
Right there.
Okay.
She didn't put one on the very bottom.
We got fans blowing to lift the papers and nothing on the bottom.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're super excited. Get out of there. Okay, so if you weren't here yesterday and you're wondering what a mystery quilt is, basically for 5 weeks, we're going to have new things going on. Once this kicks off each week for 4 weeks, the first 4 weeks, there will be a file to download that's going to have your clues, which is basically more files so that you can stitch more blocks, and instructions. So, and is there a quilt map?
There is going to be a quilt map.
What week?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
The last week for sure.
So you'll know where to put all your blocks.
Yep.
And then on the 5th week, we're coming back live to do trim, pin, and join. So we're going to kind of cover a little bit of that today, but we'll go more in depth with the actual quilt files on that 5th week. And the fun part is you really don't know what you're getting into. You don't know what it looks like, what the final design looks like, really up until probably week 4 or 5.
That's right. And I just love seeing everybody's blocks as they post them with whatever fabric choices they have if they didn't get a kit.
Yeah.
It's all very exciting.
But we have kit news, so stay tuned.
We do.
The other thing that we do anytime we have a workshop, we usually do about a 2-day workshop. This is a special week because Mystery Quilt's just special and just the most fun. But we are leaving registration open this time. This isn't something we normally do, but we want you, if you just stumble across our video, maybe on YouTube this week, we want you to get your hands on this freebie, which is this adorable block. So what you're going to want to do is go to hoopsisters.com. We can have Nina drop the link in there. By the way, Nina is in the comments and on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you have questions, generic questions throughout the live, she can answer them in there. If you have personalized questions that you're going to need help with, such as, I'm not sure how to get my downloader. I don't know if I got that registration gift, but I think I registered. I would encourage you to reach out to Nina after the live or shoot her a quick email and she can get back in touch with you. Okay. So just know there's still time to register so that you're kind of like getting the best experience when you register. You're going to get the workbook emailed to you. You're going to get the free gift sent to you. So that's really the best way to participate. Okay. I had ice cream today for lunch, you guys, and I am regretting it. I'm so full and hot.
You should have shared.
I know. So also we want you to know that today we're doing trimming and assembly. Tomorrow we're coming back and talking all about fabric. We do have fabric kit news, so stay tuned. That we'll give you today. And then Thursday, Nina and I are going to talk about how it works, answer your customer service questions. And then you and I are going to be back on Friday, just talking about, okay, ordered, you get all your stuff. How do I prepare so I'm ready to go?
Yep. And Joni Sanderson, I don't know if you're in the comments, if you're watching us today, but kudos to you for all the binders that you have of all your different mystery quilts and Hoop Sisters projects. And
she's more organized than me.
She's very organized. So I think she should be on the live.
Yeah, she should be giving an organizational lesson.
Right.
Okay, so we did this yesterday too.
We did. This is the bonus that you get when you purchase the mystery quilt. You get a little bonus block. And this is it right here. It's a cute little vase that we use vinyl to make it look like a glass vase and cute, pretty flowers and stuff in it. So this is what we stitched yesterday. I did take a couple shortcuts and didn't stitch out the bee or the dragonfly to save us some time. But this is what you will get when you order the mystery quilt.
So cute. So this, when she says order the mystery quilt, the bonus actually pops in your cart for free when you add 2 or more items from the mystery quilt collection. So you do have to have 2 items from that collection. We'll have Nina drop the link in all the places. And that'll take you right to the mystery quilt collection that we're talking about. And you do have to add those 2 items sometime this week. So before midnight on Friday, Eastern time. Okay. All right. Moving right along. Why don't we give these clues and then we'll turn it over to you?
Okay.
So we do like to give some clues. I mean, it is a mystery, but you got to know if you have the right hoop size and all that, right?
That's right. So if you have a hoop that will fit a 5-inch block, so it's 5 inches wide, then you can do this. The mystery quilt comes in 2 different block sizes, 5-inch block and an 8-inch block. And the little 5-inch size quilt measures, when you're finished, approximately 34 inches square. And the 8-inch quilt measures about 53.5 inches square. There are 36 blocks in this quilt, plus there's border blocks on top of that. The border blocks, of course, is something that if you decide you don't want to put borders on it, that's fine too, but it really does frame it nicely. And that's probably all I should say about that.
Okay.
But there's, I mean, I think everyone's going to have so much fun doing this.
It's quickly becoming one of my favorites.
Mine too.
Okay. So you want to talk, I'm going to let Annie, you take it over on the demo.
Okay. So today, what we are going to do today is we're going to show you how to trim your blocks when they come out of the hoop. So, and the tool that we're going to use is our trimmer by George. And this has basically, it's acrylic ruler, but it has a metal edge to it. And that metal edge helps protect the fabric on the front. So the goal is that any block that you're going to join and sew to another block next to it, you really want to remove the bulk in the seam. You don't want to have that battleizer in the seam of your quilt because it's just going to be real lumpy, difficult to sew. So we need to get rid of that bulk. There are a couple ways without the trimmer by George that you could do it. And that one of the ways is to use your rotary cutter and your ruler and try and get as close as possible. But I guarantee you, you would end up nicking into that fabric that you need to sew to the next block. And the other way would be to use the scissors. And the same thing would happen. As a matter of fact, our trimmer by George was invented because we had these problems with a quilt that we did years ago. It was our double wedding ring quilt. And we just had a sweet lady who is married to George. Her name is Martha. And she was having issues with trying to trim close to remove that bulk. And her husband, George, sweet, sweet man, he would sit next to her and read the instructions to her, and she would follow them exactly as we have it written so that they made sense. But when it came to the point where she had to trim this, it just became very stressful. And when you ruin a block, you're like, oh man, you
Gotta
just
start over.
you do. You got to start over. So George was a tool and die maker. I wasn't going to go into all this, but since we're here,
Yeah.
but he was a tool and die maker. And our original trimmer by George was just this metal. And he had a machine where he could just take a piece of metal and crimp it. And then he came and showed this to Martha. It's just an amazing tool. So I'm going to show you how to use it today. I do want to start out by saying this block here, if this is like a standalone little mini quilt. So if you were going to put binding on this, you do not need to remove the bulk. If you're going to put binding on it, you would use the ruler side of the trimmer by George and just trim all of it. I'll do that on this side. I'm going to do all the sides a little different. So on this side, I'm going to say I'm going to have binding on this side. So I would trim 1/4 of an inch through all the layers. So we still have our battleizer there. Now let's say this side had something sewn to it. Then what you would do, I'm going to turn this, rather than just trimming it 1/4 of an inch through all the layers, this right here, when you join it to another block, is when the bulk needs to be removed. So I'm going to take the metal edge of my trimmer by George. I'm going to shimmy it right in there, right up to that basting stitch, and lay this down. And I also kind of like to do just a very gentle hug, and then just look, make sure there's no fabric that creaked out underneath that metal. And then you can use that metal edge as an edge to trim your block. And I also wanted to tell you that I am using a 60mm rotary cutter. And it says on here that a 60mm cutter is required. And the reason is because the acrylic ruler is raised up a bit because of that metal edge. So you need a little bit bigger of a rotary cutter to pull that off. So now you can see that I've removed the bulk right up to that basting stitch. So I'm going to do this a couple more times. And I'm going to trim, just pull the fabric back and shimmy that in there and lay it down. And then do a gentle tug. Make sure no fabric is showing. And then you can use that metal edge with your 60mm rotary cutter to trim that bulk away. So I have one more side, and then I'll show you how to trim the fabric. Again, we just shimmy it in there, lay it down, gentle tug, nothing is showing. So then I can go ahead and trim that. And I will tell you also that if you try to do this with a 45, this is 45mm rotary cutter, this little screw right here is going to end up hitting this. So what you naturally will do to avoid that is you will try and cut on an angle instead of just straight along that. And that makes the blade go in there and cut that anyway. So it's real important that you use it with a 60mm rotary cutter. So here I have this side trimmed. This would be as though you're putting binding on it. These other 3 sides are trimmed with a trimmer by George side. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to trim the fabric on the front 1/4 of an inch from the basting stitch that sewed when it was still on the machine. And actually, I will give you a tip. If it's hard to see on one side, flip it over, and it's sometimes easier to find that basting stitch on the other side. So I'm going to go around here and trim all the fabric on the front to 1/4 of an inch from that basting stitch. Okay, so there it is. There's the front. Looks the same on the front. When you flip it over, you can see this would have been the side maybe where binding is applied. You trim it through all layers. Any side that has another block sewn to it, that's the side you're going to use the trimmer by George to remove the bulk from the seam. So let me
I know someone is wondering.
Yeah.
You're not going to throw all this away, are you?
I was going to talk about that. What I would do, absolutely what I would do is, and it's up to you if you want to keep pieces this size or not, entirely up to you. Matter of fact, I did toss another one over there. But what you could do is you could and I would use a straight side. The side's a little straighter. and just zigzag these two together. Now, if you have two sides that aren't quite super straight, you could just overlap them like so. And then just cut right through them so that you can get a nice straight edge. So if I pull this out, see if there's anything under there. So now I have a nice straight zigzag stitch to stitch these together. This may not fit in a bigger hoop, but it'll fit in maybe a 5x7 hoop, and you could do that. And the same with this one. If you just need a little bit more to fit your hoop, you can zigzag it this way and then take this piece and zigzag these together. There's no sense in wasting all that precious battleizer. So just a way for you to save a little bit there on the battleizer.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what we're going to do is we are going to show you how to sew your blocks together. I know it sounds pretty elementary, but we do have a few tips and that we'd like to show you. So let me grab a couple of these little bitty blocks over
Jackie
here.
said she did her heirloom feathers quilt with Frankenbat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It saved her quite a bit of money, I'm sure. Okay, so I have a couple of blocks here, little bitty border blocks. And these border blocks, you can see I have them trimmed. I have this one trimmed as the corner, and I have this one trimmed as the side. So if you just need to make sure that you don't put the side with the battleizer over here, which is supposed to be the edge. So I have these. This is the edge and top of my quilt. So this is how my blocks will be sewn together. One of the first things you need to do, you know what? I'm going to put this with something darker underneath it because it's just, I got white on white. I want them to be able to see it. Okay, here we go. Now I got to make sure I did that right. Yep. Okay. So if you have your blocks here, one of the things you're going to have to take a look at first is, are there any match points? So your match points would be where you want them to obviously to match up perfectly. So our corners here and our corners here are match points. And in this particular case, this spot right here at the top of the diamond and at the bottom of the diamond on this one is also a match point. So I'm just going to take this and flip this right side down. And I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to find the corner, the very corner of that basting stitch. And I'm peeking at the front, and that's good. I'm going to also find the corner of the other one. And I'm just going to leave that pin in there. Hopefully you all can see that pin. I'm just going to leave it in there straight. This is our anchor pin. And now my other match point in the other corner, I'm going to find that as well. And I'm going to make sure I have it exactly in the right spot. And the same on the one on this side. And again, this is my anchor point. So I have these two pins sticking straight out. What I did not do is I did not take them and put them back through like you probably would if you were sewing the quilt top. Because of the thickness, we're going to use this anchor pin technique so that things don't shift as we go ahead and sew and pin them together. So now that I have my pins where they need to be, I'm going to give it a little pinch. And then right next to that one, I'm going to put the pin that we will keep in there when we sew. So this pin will go in the seam allowance. That's a crooked pin, but that's okay. It's going to go in through the seam allowance, and then it's going to come back through the block. And then I can remove my anchor pin. That way I didn't have my block shifting in any way, and those basting stitches will all line up really nice. So here's my other anchor pin. I'm going to give it a pinch so it stays in place. And I'll put my next pin right next to it through the seam allowance and then back through the block. And now I can remove the anchor pin. The other place I had a match point was the tips of the diamonds. So I'm just going to look through there. And in both places, I have put my anchor pin right through that area. So I'm going to stick another pin through the seam allowance and then back through the block. So I'm ready to sew this together. It is wonderful if you just take the time to pin it like this, because it will save you a lot of heartache later in case something does shift. So please keep in mind that anchor pin technique. I'm going to go to the sewing machine now, Aubrey,
Okay.
and we can sew these two blocks together. Okay, so I have thread in my needle and my bobbin that matches. I put white thread in there because that's the color I have for my fabric on here. I have chosen just my regular straight stitch, and I also have a dual feed on this machine. So if you have a walking foot, just a regular walking foot, use that. If you have a dual feed walking foot, do that, and make sure there's no buttons that you don't forget to push on your machine to activate that dual feed. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, actually, you have a pen up there. I'm going to mark this so they can see. We are going to sew right on that basting stitch. So this is just demonstration purposes. So you can see I have made that mark on there. You can see the mark right here. This is our basting stitch. I'm going to sew right on that line. And because of the way that we pinned it, it should match and come through exactly in the right spot. Give Aubrey her pen back so she doesn't accuse me of stealing her pen. And I like to start in like 1/4 inch. So basically right in the corner there. And then I like to do a little back stitch and then come forward. And then at the end do another back stitch. And I always remove my pins. I never sew over them. So I'm going to go ahead and, okay, there's a couple back stitches. Now I can go forward, removing my pins and getting to the end, and I'll do another little back stitch. Okay. So that's all there is to it. I'm going to go back over to the other camera so I can show you a little better view over there. Okay, so here it is. There it is. You can see how, hopefully you can see how my basting stitches lined up nice. The points of my diamonds lined up perfectly as well. So that is how you pin, or you trim, pin, and join your blocks together. So let's talk about pressing. So if you have decided that you're going to use wool for a little extra dimension in your quilt, I highly recommend that you grab a strip stick. And basically, when you press a quilt that has wool in it, it's going to go flat. It's just going to be flatter than a piece of paper. If you didn't use wool, you don't need to worry about this, and you can just lay this on the ironing board and press it and not have to worry about it. But if you have wool in there, by using the strip stick, you can just lay the seam right on the hump of your strip stick, and then you can press your seam to one side, and your iron is only touching where your seam is.
Look what Deb Randall says. She likes your sample you're
thank
using.
you, Deb. So anyway, you would press your seams to one side, and in your quilt as a whole, you're going to alternate rows and all that. So you have some seams going this way and some going the other way. And then I always turn it over on this side, and I give it a nice press on this side as well. So there you go.
So that should have just answered your question, Beverly Rossman on Facebook. She said she does it to one side or the other.
Yes, that's what we do. I mean, just it's the same as if you were doing a quilt top. You would do it the same way. It helps keep the bulk. It doesn't put all the bulk of the seams all going one direction, and it kind of helps lock it in as you line everything up. And it's easier to use that as a match point as well to get your pin through all that. So press seams to one side. I will tell you that there are some quilt blocks that if you're really struggling to get it to go to one side, it's okay occasionally to press it open if you have to. So anyhow, that is our little demo for today. It's a lot quicker than yesterday.
Yes, it was. Okay. We have some big news. We have some big news. And I did start some questions, Mom.
Okay.
Oh, here's one right here you can answer right now. Linda says,
what foot are you using on your machine? Linda, I was using it's a Janome machine, and it has a dual walking foot, and that's what I was using. So if you don't have the dual walking foot is basically you have your feed dogs on the bottom, but you also got them on the top. So it's pulling them through in both directions. So not all machines have a dual feed, and that's okay. You can still use a walking foot, which will mechanically help pull that forward from the top as well as from the bottom. So definitely use a walking foot. Personally, I prefer the open toe walking foot. I like to see where that needle's going, and I like
That makes sense.
and I think that's a personal preference. Some maybe don't like that type of foot, but definitely use the walking foot or the dual walking foot.
And I'll say, speaking of personal preferences, I did see a couple that came through. So, and this is just Catherine's personal preference. She likes to leave to cut the seam allowance larger. She feels like it helps it lay more flat.
There
so
you
that's
go.
a good tip.
There you go.
And then Joni, she said she likes to add clips between the pins and on the sides. So she likes to do that. So these are just things you can try too. Okay. And all right. So do you guys want me to get to the big news? You want me to get to the big news? Probably. Okay. So yesterday we sold out of fabric kits
Quickly.
a lot faster than we anticipated. It is always a guess. It's always a guess. We do our best to nail it, but you know, we're not perfect. And sometimes we don't know how many kits are going to sell. But one cool thing that we have just done is we just opened up back orders. So yesterday there was ordering, then we ran out. Now we're putting it on a back order. So that just means basically you can place an order for the fabric kit between now and Wednesday at midnight. And after Wednesday at midnight, we're cutting it off because then we're going to have to turn around quickly, order more fabric, get it in, cut it, and ship it. So we're going to have to like hustle.
Yep. And we've already contacted the fabric companies. They know the order's coming and they know for what, and they're getting their shipping department ready to put it in a box, slap a label on it, and get it to us. Then it's all hands on deck.
Yeah.
For cutting your kits and packaging them.
So if you placed an order yesterday after the kit sold out and you were bummed and you really wanted a kit, so you just placed the rest of your order and now you're like, well, dang, and now I want to add this. If you need help with that, just call Nina or email Nina and she'll call you. Her information is at the bottom of the screen. So, you know, that could bump you up to get a free scissor in some scissor stances. And so we'll make sure that that happens for you. Okay.
Scissor stances.
You know what I mean? And so just know that we understand and we know that everyone really wanted a kit. So we did bring them back. And I also want to be clear that this cannot always happen. So a lot of times fabric, we order it so far in advance that it's sold out. We got really lucky this time that we're able to do that. But it doesn't mean that we can do it every time. So just know that going forward in the workshops, I'm super duper excited that we can make this happen and make everybody happy for Mystery Quilt for sure.
And we have a bunch of brand new blades, rotary cutter blades, to help us cut through all that.
Oh, good.
fabric.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Just for our own use
Like,
to
we
get
don't
the kids
sell
ready.
All right. So if I was you, I would not wait to get that in. You have until, like we said, this Wednesday, tomorrow, I guess I should say, at midnight, because Thursday the order's going in and then we're not going to be making more adjustments.
And then it'll be no more kits after that.
Okay. So super cool. We'll have Nina drop the order link. So if you were kind of waiting and wondering about the kits, you got a backup plan there. Okay.
She's reading comments, see if there's any more questions left.
Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to start.
Okay.
All right. So let me run through. We showed you the demo for today. We're going to recap some of the things that we talked about yesterday. Yes, you will still get a ticket. We are going to stuff tickets too. We got a lot to do.
We do.
Good question. Yes, the new updated back order kits will also include a red ticket. Okay. Do you want to come over here and star questions and look through what I starred?
Yeah.
And I'll come over here and do what I got to do over here. Okay. All right. So here's what we want you to know. This week is launch week. It's pre-order week for Mystery Quilt. And this week is when all of these specials are good. So as we are live right now, it's May 13th. So by May 16th at midnight, everything I'm about to say is going to go away. But basically, if you add any 2 items from the Mystery Quilt Collections category, it's going to unlock your bonus and give you 10% off on the eligible items. There are some exclusions, which I'll mention in just a minute. So that's if you do 2, right? Now, if you put 3 or more products from the Mystery Quilt Collection category of the website, you're going to unlock the bonus and save 15%, which is crazy because it's a brand new product. And then, of course, if your cart gets to $199 after the discounts come out and all that is applied, and your cart's $199 or more, you're going to get free shipping within the contiguous US, and we're giving away a Hoop Scissors Mini. So for free, $25 scissor is going to come to your house with your order. So that's pretty exciting. So a couple exclusions would be the wool, any threads, any pre-cut fabrics, and our strip stick that's on the website as well. Those are not included in the discounts. However, they do work towards getting you the bonus and getting your cart to the $199. Okay. How you doing over there?
I'm doing good.
Can you switch
started
me?
a few. Yep, we'll switch you again.
Well, no, I just mean, can we go to my next slide?
Oh, sure. I don't want to touch anything.
She doesn't want to drive. She doesn't want to drive. Okay. So you can keep doing this.
Okay.
So the other thing that we have going on is not only are we giving away $50 in store credit every day this week, we are also doing red tickets this year. So if you missed this yesterday, I wanted to make sure I repeat this. So each week during Mystery Quilt, we're going to draw a red ticket. So that's 5 opportunities for you to have your ticket pulled, and you'll get $100 in store credit. Sorry. If your ticket gets pulled. So here's how you get a ticket. Basically, any order you place this week, it's going to have a red ticket in it. So if you're thinking Mystery Quilt, then now's a great time to do it. Also, we're putting them in the fabric kits. So if you order a fabric kit, you will get a red ticket. So if you get Mystery Quilt and you get a fabric kit, you're getting 2 red tickets. That's the only way to get tickets. The other thing is if you lose it, we're not replacing it. So if you lose it, you're out of luck. So I'm making sure I say that. so don't lose your ticket. And I even said yesterday, take a picture.
I was going to say, you need to say that again, because that was a great idea.
That's what I would do when you get it, because it's just going to have the number. It's going to look basically just like what you see on screen, and you're going to have a number. We're going to read the number. This will be in with any shippable order this week. So Aubrey, what if I just get the download for Mystery Quilt? Because that's the only way it comes. And I just want to order Mystery Quilt. Don't worry. Nina's actually keeping track of who gets just a downloadable item this week. And she is going to put a ticket in the drawing with your order number and name on it. So no matter how you do it this week, if you're ordering, you're going to earn a red ticket.
Yep. And Catherine Dunn just asked that question about what if I get the download?
Yep.
Nina will take care of you.
You'll still be in the drawing. In fact, if you order just a download, we're going to write your order number and name on the ticket. If you get a shippable ticket, your name's not going to be on there. You're going to have to look at the number when we call the number. Okay. But yeah, it download, side load, upload, shipping. You're going to get a ticket. Okay. All right. Can I see that?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I also want to put this up on screen, and then I think it might be a good time for you to maybe look at the questions you want to answer. But I did see someone say they were looking for us at 11 o'clock this morning and they couldn't find us. Well, that's because we're not going to be live at the 11 o'clock time slot until the reveal and class session.
And that's okay, because Sunday night I said something to you about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And you're like, no, it's 2.
So I said, I have an appointment tomorrow morning. And she said, we have a live at 11. I said, no, we don't.
So, you know, I get confused too.
Yeah, me too.
And being my daughter's here, of course, they like to straighten me out.
Right. Okay. So this is actually, if we could pop this question up on screen, just push the show right there. You're doing a good job driving.
Thanks. If I purchase a digital download, when can we download it?
So perfect question that applies to the slides that I have up on screen right now. So this week is launch week, pre-order week, and then week 1 will start on Tuesday, May 27th at 11 a.m. It's the only one on Tuesday just because of Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
So your week 1 files and instructions and your first kind of straight glance at what this is going to turn into will be during week 1, Tuesday, May 27th at 11 a.m. And then each Monday following that through Monday, June 23rd, you'll have a new set of files each week.
Yep. So 2 o'clock every day this week.
Yeah.
11 a.m. on Mondays, except for that one
Think
Tuesday.
workshops and launches are at 2 and like sew along classes are at 11.
Okay. Now you got me straightened out.
Okay, good.
Okay. So we have some questions that are starred here. And Sue Wegner says the rule, let me show it up here. It says the Ruler by George is awesome and a must have. I still have one of the original George prototypes stashed away somewhere in the depths of my sewing room.
Yeah.
Oh man, I do too. I even have a bronze one that's framed.
Yeah, she does.
That I got from George, which is very cool. Okay. And let's see. Darla says, I don't have the ability to zigzag while the embroidery unit is attached. Would it be nice if we had a program to zigzag while attached? I'm not sure, Doris. The zigzag, when I don't know if you're talking about, if you want to clarify, if you're talking about when it attaches the optional wool, if you choose to do that, that is part of the embroidery design. And so that's, you don't have to worry about that.
I wonder if she means when you do the serpentines.
Oh, well.
Well, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Honestly, Doris, I'm not sure, but if you do want to contact Nina, then, and maybe pose your question with a little more detail, maybe we can help get that answered for you. And Linda Russell says, Annie, have you ever used the fork pins to secure the blocks after the anchor pinning match? Wonder that would shift less. I don't know, Linda.
Try it, Linda.
Try it and please let us know. Okay. And then Darius says, your anchor pin technique is a game changer. Lines up the squares perfectly each time. Oh, yes, it does. It is awesome. And let's see. Terry, is that border block for the mystery quilt?
Okay, can I just say the Hoop Sisters? Someone answered
moving on.
Hoop Sisters in the comments, and they said something like, "We'll never tell" or something.
Okay, so I just moved on from that question. I didn't even answer it.
You were supposed to read the questions while I was talking.
I know.
She said I did. Don't put it up
I
there.
just put the T's up there. It's okay.
This one we just talked about.
Yeah, we did.
Just again to clarify, the 11 a.m. lives are for the release and class schedules on May 27th, June 2nd, June 9th, and the 16th and 23rd. And well, actually, Nina, if you wouldn't mind dropping that workbook link again. And if you don't have it, she's dropping a PDF. You can click that. It has this week's schedule and the release and live class schedule that we're talking about.
And Karen says, is there backup quilts that may not have the same fabrics, but the same colors? I think Karen might be referring to us purchasing the fabric for the next wave of kits. We do have the exact same fabric at this point that's lined up, Karen. And again, Karen, if for some reason that was not the answer or the question you're looking for, just give Nina a call and she will help you out. And Sue says, thanks, Nina, for fixing my download issue yesterday. You are the best. That's cool. And another question. Here's one from Pat. I have found that if I do a base stitch first to make sure everything matches up, and then once I'm happy with the match points, I'll go over with regular stitching. Pat, that is excellent, excellent tip. I do that myself as well. At certain times I have done that. And actually I have even, if you have something where the back was put on while it's in the hoop and it's joined together and then the seams covered with sashing, I actually will do the basting stitch at like a 3.0 stitch length. And then the serpentine stitch that holds the sashing on, that holds the quilt together perfectly. So I think that that is, do you want to trade places with me? That'd be better. But I think doing a basting stitch is a wonderful idea. Aubrey and I are going to change places. She likes to drive and I like her to drive.
The mini scissors of the bomb, says Janine Spencer. Okay, I'm sure that we've missed some questions, but we're doing the best we can. I have starred a few as well that we'll go back to. I wanted to just, before we keep going on question and answer, we'll do more of that in just a moment. I want to start this one. Sorry, I'm just starring a couple questions that I don't want to miss. Okay. So I'll leave the sneak peek up on the screen for just a minute.
So what do you guys think of that little sneak peek?
So good. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Give me just a second.
Yep. We have to speed read through all these comments as they're flying in from 2 different places.
Okay.
Hopefully get them all answered.
All right. We did talk about the weekly specials. All right. So just quickly, I'm going to also do the giveaway in just a second before we get back into the Q&As. So the keyword for today is the word trim. You only have to type it once and you'll be entered to win. But this week is really, this is just the beginning of the fun. We've got so much more fun in store, but this is the week that you're going to get the best pricing, the red tickets, the free shipping if you're in the contiguous US, the bonus block, the potential to get that Hoop Scissors Mini at the $199 or more.
And a $50 giveaway every day.
$50 live viewer giveaway every single day. So there are so many reasons. I mean, at this point, it's a no-brainer. We got to admit that it's a lot. You get a really good deal with all this stuff in it. And you only have until May 16th at midnight. So we're going to go ahead and drop the order link again. And then we're going to run to this giveaway. Then we're going to come back in for questions. And we're going to do our best to get questions answered. We do have them coming in from Facebook and YouTube. So I've got 12 starred right now. It might go up. But if we don't get to your question, we'll make sure to put Nina's information up on the screen tomorrow. And tomorrow we're also going to be talking all about fabric.
Yes.
Fabric kit deadline is tomorrow, but we're also going to talk, even though you can still get on the back order list for the fabric kits, you're still going to talk about.
Yes, I'm going to show a few different options just to spark your imagination, because sometimes if you look at a quilt that's already made, even though you couldn't look at it, you were able to see our fabric kit. So it's like, well, what if I did this in other colors? Would it look okay? And sometimes you just need to feel comfortable about that, especially since you can't see the quilt before you buy the fabric. So I've got a few options. We're going to pile up some bolts. We got to figure out how we're going to hold up all those bolts.
There's a lot over there.
There is a lot. I already got them picked out and selected. Just out of what we have here in stock, we were able to find a few different colorways just to give you some fun ideas. So that'll be tomorrow.
All right, let's do this. I see a couple more trims popping in. So let's see. I'm going to share my screen and we'll do the giveaway, and then we'll get into some more Q&A so that we can make sure if you have a question that we get you taken care of. Anyone else want to play? All right, here we go. I'm excited. Margarita.
Montgomery. Congratulations.
I love it. Congrats. And she's watching over on Facebook. Where'd my mouse go? The confetti's throwing me off. Congratulations, Margarita. You are the winner. So here, I'm going to tell you what you're going to want to do is email Nina at hoopsisters.com. You have 5 days to claim your prize. Just let her know you were the day 2 winner during Mr. Quilt launch. And she will get the $50 put in your cart and you can go shopping.
Yeah, $50 store credit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we can go over to the pinned comments. All righty.
Are those diamond blocks a hint? We already went over that and we're not going to go for that. But you get points for asking. So.
I don't know what those points go towards, but
neither do I.
Yeah, so this is a download only. We are not doing USBs for this. And then this way we can just drip you the design over the course of the 4 weeks that there will be downloadable files. And then the 5th week, we're coming back in to do like a trim and join demo. But yes, it is strictly download only.
And the downloads are super easy. And again, wonderful Nina can help you with that. If you don't feel real comfortable with it or you're not sure you have a problem, contact Nina.
Yeah, and we're actually going to show how to do that.
Good.
I don't know if it's Thursday or Friday, but we're going to show how to do that. And Paulette, I feel like there's some people, I feel like this is your group because I feel like there's some people who can totally relate to this. Tried to resist joining, but just ordered. I think you're absolutely going to love it. You will not be disappointed. Okay. We did talk about this, but I'm going to pop this back up because I've seen this question a couple times. So if you get 2 or more items and it unlocks that bonus, your bonus will be available right now. If you're just getting the mystery quilt in the download form, the first time that you'll be able to download anything from that is going to be on May 27th it'll be before 11 a.m. before the class.
And then you will get week 1 files, which are the corners, all the borders, and a block that's kitty corner from that corner block. So that's what these numbers are up here. That's what you get in week 1.
Okay. So those are the release dates there. And if you're ordering it, you're going to be getting emails. So just know that too. Okay. I'll let you read this one.
You know what, Karen? I got excited when I saw your question because I do love cherry wood fabric. She's asking if I have an 8 fat quarter bundle from cherry wood fabric. Can I use that for her fat quarters? Yes. I think it was 7 of these real colorful. But if you got 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we had 7. But if you got 8 fat quarters of the cherry wood fabric, oh my goodness, girl, you better be posting your blocks in the VIP group because I want to see them.
You know, the kits are really nice, right? The kits are really nice. You know what you're going to have. You know that what you're picking is going to look good. But it's so fun to see someone who kind of goes their own path and picks their fabrics and it just looks a little bit different. I think that's really fun.
And if I had a choice, I would say, let's not offer fabrics. Let's see what they can do. But that's kind of selfish on my part. And honestly, if you're going to do a mystery quilt, you want to know that your fabric's going to work. And that's why we're going to help you tomorrow with that. And that's why we have kits. So it really is pretty easy on this one to pick fabrics, even if you don't know what it looks like. But Karen, I can't wait to see your quilt with the cherry wood fabrics.
Okay. Yes, there will be replays of the weekly releases. So if you have things going on during the times that are on screen now, no worries. You're going to get the emails and the replays. So you can watch that when it's more convenient for you. All right, Mom, I'm going to let you answer this
All
one.
right. Is the single cut wool throw the right size for the 5-inch mystery quilt? I believe it is. We had, Sarah, do you have those papers that were sitting up here? The fabric requirement stuff that was up there.
It's right here. It was blowing.
Oh, there it is. It was blowing in the wind. So let's see here. For the 5-inch block, Kim, you would need a craft size. So you have more than enough that you need to do for the 5-inch. The throw size is the size for the 8-inch and a craft size for the 5-inch.
Okay. I'll let you answer.
We can always put the files on our own USB. Absolutely, Trisha, you can. And I will also, the fun thing and the great thing about the downloads, and like Aubrey said, they're going to be showing you how to do that, is the fact that if for some reason I happen to have made a mistake on something, or I want to add something to the files, when we do that, they automatically go into your account. So you can always pick that stuff up there. So that you can always use your own USBs to transfer them to the machine. Perfect. Will there be cutting instructions? Oh yeah, Chris, we'll give you everything you could possibly want. Will we get the fabric requirements and cutting instructions before the 27th? Let me work on that. I will definitely, I think we posted the fabric requirements, but not necessarily cutting instructions already, Lydia. But let me work on that so I can get it together in one document and we can post that. That way, when your fabric arrives, you can begin cutting and organizing and all that.
I'm going to put us up on screen so I can scroll a little bit and get a different slide pulled up.
Okay. It says, I don't have a very close fabric store near me and I don't drive into San Antonio if I can help it. So I love your fabric offerings. Oh, Paulette, I'm glad. That's awesome.
And then Heidi Lynn asked about the finish sizes.
The finish size is the 5-inch is 34 inches square. If you're sewing 8-inch blocks, it's going to be 53.5 inches square. And those are approximate sizes.
Did we already talk about this, or am I crazy?
Is the single cut wool throw the right size for the 5? I think we did talk about that one. The throw size would work for the 8-inch and the craft size will work for the 5-inch blocks.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep all these straight.
Okay, there's a lot of them up there.
All right.
Did we get them all?
No.
No.
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
How long will we be able to watch the classes once they start May 27th? Can we pull the video up anytime afterward?
Yeah, they'll remain on YouTube. Facebook started doing this thing where they delete videos after 30 days, but they'll stay on YouTube. So they'll be available for you to watch. Yes. Okay. Explain that our weekly downloads will be available after the week it's released. So your weekly download will be available the morning of the live session at 11 a.m. So I would say between 9:30 and 10 on those dates, you will be able to access your files. You'll have it before the weekly reveal.
So it's actually possible that they could have their blocks posted to the VIP group before we even do the reveal.
Some of them will.
Some of them will, and I think I could name names, but
and if you're like, oh, I wouldn't have that, no worries. It's okay if you don't.
I think Chris might do that.
Chris might, yeah. Okay.
When will we know the amounts of the various fabrics we will need so we can prepare in advance if we don't have a kit? During the fabric and thread key has already been posted to the VIP group, correct? The Facebook VIP group, you will find it on there. And that's the place to go to get it. And I will be working on making sure there's like a cutting chart so you can cut all your fabrics out for each of the weeks.
Here's one of those names that comes to mind.
Joni, you were on my mind when I made that comment.
Okay, and Karen's question.
I have battleizer. Do I still need wool batting? No, you do not, Karen. the wool batting on top of the battleizer is just a way to make it have a little more dimension, have your quilt be a little bit more poofy. And it's just completely optional. You do not have to have it.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, can you check to see if our wool is sold out? And if so, let's.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you miss a day, will you be able to get that day's download the next day? Absolutely. It'll always be in your online account. And it's just up to you to go to your online account and find that order and push the download button.
Yeah. So if you're not in the Facebook group and you want those, email Nina. And then she can just hit reply. She'll know right where to send it to, and ask her for that. And she will definitely send it to you. Oh, yeah. Texas. You got different weather down in Texas, don't you, Catherine?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Here's something that I definitely want to make sure that we say again.
Okay.
And that would be, we ran out of kits yesterday, but we lucked out because we can still get these same fabrics, and this does not always happen.
No, it does not.
But they do have. We emailed them today. Annie took care of emailing them today, and they said we have it. We can help you out. So we have started back orders for fabric kits, and back order just means we don't have it to ship to you right this minute, but get your order in, and we are going to place an order Thursday morning. So you basically have till tomorrow, Wednesday, May 14th at midnight to order a fabric kit. Right?
Right.
Anything else you want to say about this?
I would like to know who's going to be up at 12:01 to turn it off.
It's automatic.
Okay. Just teasing.
If that was required, it would be at 9:05 the next day.
I am with you.
And then we're gonna do everything in our power. It'll be like an all hands on deck situation to get these out. Our goal is to get them out Wednesday, May 21st, and they will be stuffed with one red ticket each.
Absolutely.
Joni says cutting instructions are on page 3 and 4 of the fabric and thread key.
Oh, thank you, Joni. See, I wasn't sure I had already done it.
Joni,
she's misorganized and I am not.
Joni needs to come work with us.
Yeah, she does.
Let's see. Lots of tomato plants in Texas because they got, my garden's growing like crazy. It's so humid right now,
it
too.
It is. Joni, if I could just speak to Joni for just a moment. I did this design like 6 months ago and ordered fabric 6 months ago.
Yeah,
and did all
that's true. Give her a little credit, right?
And the fabric it was 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully I'll get cut a break here.
Yeah.
Kathy says, is the fabric kit considered pre-cut fabric and therefore exclusion from the percentage off and bonus?
No, we're not doing it for the kit. The kit is included and you can get 10% off or 15% off or whatever. It was just the individual pre-cuts that we had on the website that I think have sold out. There might be one or two, but I think those are gone. It is included. Okay. The last thing I want to pop up here before we sign off for today, because someone asked, is our little sneak peek. And if we don't say this enough. We just kind of take for granted that people know this about us. But when you do Hoop Sisters, the quilting is always included. So, some places you're like, okay, now I got to pick how to quilt it, or I got to put it on the long arm or buy separate quilting files. With Hoop Sisters, you're getting it all. So when you see that beautiful like honeycomb quilting and the different quilting up towards the top left, that is all part of what you're getting. So I think that's really cool. And we don't say it enough. Why don't we talk about it more?
And each of our designs too, the quilting is like custom to what the design is, which makes it very cool. Everything's slightly different.
Yes, if you just love the fabric and you already have a kit, but you want another one, you can get another one. You just have to do it by tomorrow night at midnight. Okay. I think we did it, guys, but here's what I want you to know is if we miss something Oh, sorry. I didn't want to
There
make you
she is.
seasick, but and I will also say we are also in the middle of a website change. Well, not in the middle of it, it's changed. So thank you for your patience in everything as we work through that. We will show other fabric suggestions tomorrow. Yes. So tomorrow is the deadline for the fabric kits, but you don't have to do the fabric kits. You can pick your own things. And Annie has a few suggestions lined up that we're going to show you tomorrow, which I think are really, really pretty as well. So yes, Sue, come back tomorrow. We're going to talk all about fabric then. Okay, we did it.
Yay.
All right, everyone. Well, we will be back here tomorrow again at 2 p.m. But again, if you need any help, reach out to us directly. You can reach Nina at the phone number or email there, and we will get you all taken care of. Even if we have to put you on hold and figure out the answer or call you back, we will definitely do it. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.